In today's video, I'm going over the top 5 things that you need to know before moving to Concord, California. Now, before we get into it, I want to give you a quick breakdown of the city, just in case you're not too familiar with it. Concord, California is the largest city in Concord Ca County with a population of over 130,000 residents. Concord is bordered on the west by Pleasant Hill and the small city of Pacheco, on the south by Walnut Creek, on the southeast by Clayton, and borders the northeast by Pittsburgh and the small city of Bay Point. Although this city shares no border with Concord, Martinez is located immediately adjacent to the northwest of Concord. And now that we had a little geography lesson, let's get on to the video. Number 1 up on the list of what you should know about Concord, California before moving here is the commutability factor. Concord has become more heavily populated in recent years due to its commutable location. You have San Francisco 29 miles away, Oakland 22 miles away, and San Jose 51 miles away. Now, when you look at those miles, you probably think, not too bad. But hold on. If you like driving to work during the commuter times, it's gonna cost you some time. On a decent traffic day, you should be able to get from Concord to San Francisco in about an hour. From Concord to Oakland, that lands you at about 45 minutes. And Concord to San Jose lands you at about an hour and a half. Keep in mind, these are all very rough numbers. You can never determine what your commute is exactly gonna be, especially here with Bay Area traffic. One thing I always recommend to prospective buyers that I'm working with that wanna make the move to Concord or any of the surrounding areas is to do a mock test drive of what their commute is gonna be. For instance, if you gotta get up and out on the road by 8 a.m., doing that test drive and seeing if you're gonna be able to do that day in and day out for however many times you have to go to your commutable location. Another very important aspect that drives a lot of residents to Concord is the fact that we have 2 BART locations, which is both Concord BART and North Concord BART. Now, these are 2 great options if you're one of those people that wants to get work done while you commute, or just have the luxury of not having to drive or deal with any traffic. I'm also gonna give you a really good tip when it comes to BART here in Concord, so listen up. If you wanna secure a seat in the morning to ensure that you don't have to stand for that entire BART commute, you wanna make sure to board North Concord BART. You'll thank me later. Number 2 up on our list of what you should know before moving to Concord, and this one's pretty high up on my list personally, is Concord's future upside and the vision that Concord has as a whole. There are 2 very major projects that are anticipated to break ground. Now, I say that these projects are anticipated because they've been put on hold, started and stopped before, but have never really broken ground on the project. One of those projects is the Naval Weapons Station that's essentially just been sitting for many, many years. Now, if this project were to go through, it would bring up to 15,000 homes, retail centers, and thousands of jobs to the city of Concord. Now, if this project could just finally take off, it would be an exponential amount of growth for not only Concord residents, but really homeowners in the area. The second project is the former U.S. Coast Guard housing located in North Concord, which has just been sitting as well for many, many years. This recently got the okay to be redeveloped, which is going to be really, really good for the surrounding area. The Coast Guard housing has been an eyesore for a long, long time, and for how low we are on housing, not only in the Bay Area, but Concord specifically, it's going to aid a lot of that pent-up demand that we're seeing in the market. Keep in mind, the reason I bring this up is because when I'm working with clients specifically, whether they're looking to leave or come here to the Bay Area, I don't just look at their purchase or sale as a micro perspective. To me, it's very important that I know all of these aspects about the Bay Area so I can help aid my clients on a macro scale, ultimately showing them what's possible, whether they want to rent out their house or they want to buy in a specific area for future growth. I mean, come on, wouldn't you want your real estate agent to know that? Moving on to number 3 of what you should know before moving to Concord, California is the fact that we have a little airport known as Buchanan Field Airport. It's a publicly owned airfield in the city of Concord, and it is served by JSX. So if you're a real traveler for work, Concord could potentially be absolutely perfect. Not only is JSX known for its class and comfortability when flying, but it's actually pretty cost effective for its convenience. And JSX might not hit every single city that you may need to fly to, but with how great of a company they've built, I wouldn't be surprised if JSX is hitting every major city very soon. Number 4 on what you should know before coming to Concord, California is probably what we're all thinking when we move somewhere. Where do I get some fun? Or more importantly, where do I get some fun and food? I got you covered. So as we all know, most cities' fun and food are primarily centered around the downtown areas. And Concord does a really good job of this. The focal point of downtown Concord is Todos Santos Plaza, which essentially is downtown Concord. Its farmers markets, creative markets, free summer concerts, and surrounding food is what draws a lot of residents to the area. But this is what I love about Concord. It's not the only area to go have some fun and food. Just a 5-minute drive from downtown, you have the Veranda, which is a newly built hotspot for family fun, dining, and shopping. Now, if you've been to the Veranda, you know it's beautiful, but parking, let's just say, wasn't much of a thought. This place gets crazy on Fridays and Saturdays, so just be prepared. Parking is not going to be an easy or fun task. Right next door to the Veranda, you have the Willows, which also has some great restaurants and some shopping. It's just not as new and pretty as the Veranda is. Lastly, you have the Sun Valley Mall, which is just a 2-minute drive away from the Veranda, which has, of course, a mall, an arcade, bowling, food, shopping. So overall, quite a bit to do in the city of Concord. Lastly, at number 5 on the list, I want to touch on the Concord real estate. I mean, after all, I'm a real estate guy, and if you're moving to the area, hopefully I can be the go-to source to help guide you to your home. For your median sales price here in Concord, that's gonna land at $775,000, which is pretty high. But of course, the closer you get to the major metropolitan cities, that price is gonna get even higher and higher. It's important to note that just because our median sales price here in Concord is $775,000, does not mean that you cannot get homes lower than that price. It is possible to find smaller single-family homes in Concord, even around the low 600s. And of course, you also have the starter home options in condos and townhomes. That $775,000 price range is gonna land you a great 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, possibly even a 4-bedroom home. It just all depends on the updates. Everyone has different buy boxes, meaning some prospective buyers only want a remodeled home that they don't have to put any work into. And some are okay with having to put in a little bit of sweat equity or maybe having a little bit of an outdated home. Some would take a renovated townhome over an outdated single-family home. So there's no right or wrong way about it, but the beautiful thing about Concord is the fact that you can be flexible with your options. I hope you got at least one great takeaway in this video about Concord. And keep in mind, if you're ever looking to move here to Concord or any of the surrounding cities here in the East Bay, or even leave, my team and I would love to help. You have all of my contact info in the description below. Feel free to ask me any questions that you have about the city of Concord or any of its surrounding cities. You can leave it right there in the comments below or contact me directly with the contact information that you have. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.